Alright everybody, well welcome to the tier list. So, we're going to be rating all of the Historic Brawl commanders from Phyrexia All Will Be One. Or as I like to say, Phyrexia Brawl Will Be One. As you can see, we have a bunch of different tiers. Hard to say, I'm hoping not to put anything in there. But we're going to see. So, let's get started, shall we? We're going to start with Elish Norn, Mother of Machines. She is a 5 mana, 4/7 Vigilance. If a permanent entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. Permanents entering the battlefield don't cause abilities of permanents your opponents control to trigger. So the question here is, first, I'm going to turn the music down just a little bit for myself. The question here is, how good is Elish Norn relative to the rest of this tier list? Let's try something like this, actually. And the thing about Elish Norn is she's monocolored. You're going to hear me say this for most of these monocolored commanders. But it is true. Like, being monocolored in commander is actually negative because you're missing out on so many cards. So, I still think she's pretty good. Clockmaker's Food in certain situations, sometimes. I actually think that Elish Norn gets to sit in Clockmaker's Food. No, it's not sometimes. The problem with Elish Norn, she's one color. A lot of decks don't care about the second ability, and if you build your deck for the first ability, that's great, but she's just super soft to remove. So you play against mono black, you're never getting it. And that's the problem. So, super good, but terrible in a mirror match. Yup. What about that threat assessment lecture? Mets, that's coming, dude. Don't worry. Most of your worst possible decks become my future wish list. That's awesome. Okay. Alright, so let's talk about the next one, shall we? Next, we have the Eternal Wanderer. So this is a Planeswalker, and keep in mind in Historic Brawl, Planeswalkers can be your commander. So she's 6 mana with 5 loyalty and has the passive, no more than one creature can attack the Eternal Wanderer each combat. That's really good in 1v1. That is really good. If you have a chump blocker, they need to have evasion or trample. +1, exile up to 1 target artifact or creature, return that card at the beginning to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the player's next end step. Okay. 0, create a 2/2 white samurai creature token with double strike and -4 for each player. Choose a creature that player controls. Each player sacrifices all creatures they control not chosen this way. I actually think the Eternal Wanderer can be pretty good. There's just so much Planeswalker removal out there that it's a little bit dangerous. I still think she's quite good and could be a lot of fun to play. I think because of the fact that only one creature can attack her each combat, if you're not playing against black or red, she's going to be impossible to kill. Unless you have a big green creature or something along those lines. You think that's fun tier for Eternal Wanderer? I'm intrigued by that. I actually think, I think Eternal Wanderer does sit in fun just because 2 colors, especially black, just absolutely hose her. She doesn't do enough that turn she comes out. I think she's just going to be a fun one. Alright, next, we have one that I'm pretty excited for. We have Skrelv, Defector Might. So this is a 1 white mana for a 1/1 Phyrexian Might. Look at how cute he is. He's just nibbling on that finger, which I think is cute. Maron with the Elves and Tyvar. I'm playing a lot of Elves with Death Touch. Poison them out. I think she's probably better in the 99 of a multicolored deck. Agreed. BRB, we'll see if I can help. With what? Skrelv is adorable. Agreed. So Skrelv has Toxic 1, can't block, and you can pay a Phyrexian white mana, so either white or 2 life, choose a color. Another target creature you control gains Toxic 1 and Hexproof from that color until the end of your turn. It can't be blocked by creatures of that color this turn. I actually think Skrelv is pretty good. Such a cheap commander, can get in for a couple points of Toxic potentially early on, especially if decks are ramping. And then just giving a creature a color in Toxic 1 could be really good. I think this guy can beat your ass up unless you're making clocks. Hello, Nikki Neverland. Thanks so much for the follow. Welcome to the friend group. That's awesome. We are doing a Historic Brawl Commander tier list from the new set. Alright, so now we have the one I think Shay is the most excited for. this seems like a super good aggro deck. Agreed, dude. I think because of how cheap it is, and the activated ability costs no mana if you wanted to, that's crazy. That's gonna be really good. Kemba, Ka Enduring. So this is the one Shay is most excited for. This is 1 and a white for a 2/2, classic. Whenever Kemba, Ka Enduring or another cat enters the battlefield under your control, attach up to 1 target equipment you control to that creature. Equipped creatures you control get +1/+1, and 5 to make a 2/2. I don't like Kemba. She looks like fun, especially in Brawl. She might actually be a little bit better, he or she might be a little bit better in Paper Commander, where you have a bigger card pool. For Brawl, I can't imagine putting them above fun, realistically. It's maybe Big Sad, but because it's cats, I can't put it in Big Sad. It's gotta be fun. Alright, next we have an absolute banger. Hello, Nikki Neverland. Thanks so much for stopping by. That's awesome. Kemba is Big Sad realistic. I know, but cats, dude. We can't put Kemba in Big Sad. It's just not gonna happen. Should Kemba be in Big Sad? Yes. Not going there. Mondrak Glory Dominus. This card is sweet. 2 white for a 4/4. If 1 or more tokens would be created under your control, twice that many of those tokens are created instead. So it's one of the many enchantments that do exactly this. You can also pay 1 Phyrexian white, sacrifice 2 other artifacts and or creatures to put an indestructible counter on Mondrak Glory Dominus. That's actually a pretty nice ability. Partly because you can do it in response to a removal spell. There's a lot of options that you could do here. And the fact that this one doubles all your tokens is amazing. The one downside, obviously, is it's single color. If this was, like, green as well, that would be insane. That said, I still think it's between Step Aside Clockmaker looking ass or We'll Beat Your Ass Up Unless You're Making Clocks. What do you guys think? Second, yeah, you're probably right. I don't think it's better than, like, Rusko or the Hellq guys, so I'll watch out for that in the future, buddy. Yeah, let's go with this. Alright, next we go to blue. So we're gonna start with Unctus Grand Metatect. What do you think about Unctus Grand Metatect? This is 1 blue for a Phyrexian Vidalcan, and it's an artifact creature. Other blue creatures you control have, whenever this creature becomes tapped, draw a card, then discard a card. Other artifact creatures you control get +1/+1, and you can pay blue Phyrexia until end of turn. Target creature you control becomes a blue artifact addition to its other colors and types. Activate only as a sorcery, and it's a 2/4. So this card's pretty interesting. Let's do this. I actually think Unctus is cool, but it's so hard for a monocolor commander to get, like, above this. And even then, these two are particularly good. Otherwise, they would probably be lower just because they're mono blue. I think because there's not enough, like, cheap artifact creatures and stuff like that, I actually think this is just gonna be Clockmaker food. It's that. It could just be Big Sad. I'm curious if there's a... I guess it's really good with... No, it's hard to say because it's good with the 5 mana artifact Paradox Engine, I believe. So I think just because of that, it goes to Clockmaker's food. It goes up. Yeah, the only a sorcery murder I know. Mono blue has the best chance. That's true. I don't like it because as a blue player, I want cards in hand, not discard them. Very true. Blue has artifact token generators, though. There is something to that. It's card selection, but not really card advantage. That is true. I feel like with Paradox Engine, if you get, like, a Marileaf Pixie or something, you can filter through your deck so fast every time you tap it for mana. So that gives it just enough to put it there, but it's pretty close to just fun. That's my opinion. Alright, let's look at the next one then. 3 or 4? Yeah, I think it's like low 3, high 4 it would be. Alright, let's look at Tekethal Inquiry Dominance. So this is 2 blue for a 3/5 flyer. If you would proliferate twice instead. 1 blue Phyrexian, remove 3 counters from other artifacts, creatures, and planeswalkers you control to put an indestructible counter on Tekethal. So this is probably the hardest of these, because there's one in each color that does this. This is probably the hardest one to get off. because you have to have 3 counters among a different stuff. That's going to be tough. I think Tekafall could be really cool. I think it's going to be better in paper than it is on Historic Brawl. That said, it's going to be fun to play, for sure. Especially with the new card that gives somebody a poison counter no matter what. The sorcery. So I think it belongs in fun, though with the right list, Clockmaker's Food, it could move up. Alright, let's look at Jace, the Perfected Mind. Look what they did to my boy. So sad. So this is 2 blue and a blue Phyrexian for a 5 mana, or 5 loyalty planeswalker. If you paid the 2 life, it enters with 3 loyalty though. +1 until your next turn up to 1 target creature gets -3, -0. -2, target player mills 3 cards, then if a graveyard has 20 or more cards in it, you draw 3, otherwise you draw a card, and -X, target player mills 3 times X cards. I think this card is a terrible commander. I think it's really bad. And the reason why I think it's really bad is it just doesn't do enough. Like, you'd rather have the blue guy that doubles all your mill if you're going for a mill deck. Jankiest Jace ever, welcome to my Explorer Rogues deck, bud. Don't think it's commander worthy, maybe a 99 in a Delver deck. Yeah, I think you guys are all correct, and I think this is going to be our first entry in Big Sad. Too bad. Alright, so Karumonix the Rat King. We have 1 black for a 3/3 with Toxic 1. Keep in mind that Toxic 1, if it deals combat damage to a player, they get 1 poison counter. This is a way that they can balance power and toughness without having Infect to be broken. Alright, so this also says other rats you control have Toxic 1, which is a good line of text. When Karumonix enters the battlefield, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal any number of rat cards from among them and put the revealed cards into your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So basically, Karumonix is pretty cool. Another rat commander, I think these guys are great. I'm considering building Karumonix. And I actually think it's pretty good, because that's the big issue with rat decks, is you eventually just run out of cards. And I think in a properly built rat deck, you're going to hit 3 out of 5 often with upshotting a 4. You know what I mean? Or, you can low roll and get 2, but this is a cheap commander. It costs 3. I feel like if it's in the right deck, it could become Clockmaker's Food. I actually don't like this tier name. Needs love to beat up clocks. I think that makes a little bit more sense. I think this is fun at best. How many rats are there? Well, Evan, you have to remember, Rat Colony, you can just put literally 99 rats in your deck. So, you can fill your deck up to have all rats if you'd like in swamps. Great song, best rat commander. I think it's a pretty good one. It seems really good. I think it hits a good mana value for the format and helps you recover after board wipe. Well, what's great is rats cost 2. You go rat, Karumonix. Though you have to be careful about that because you would overdraw. But I think this could be needs love to beat up clocks. But it could. Well, let's change. Could potentially reset time. Reset clocks. There, I think I've settled on a good tier name. Alright, moving on. Now I have... Let's go with... Oh, yeah. Drivnod Carnage Dominus. So, Drivnod is a 3/black, 8/3. If a creature dying causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. So it's like a Tessa trigger. Black Phyrexian, exile 3 creature cards from your graveyard, put an indestructible counter on this creature. I think this one is sweet. The second clause is pretty much the cheapest and easiest one to make happen. By the time you hit turn 5 in a lot of mono black decks in Historic Brawl, you're going to have some creatures in your yard. That's awesome. If you have multiple creatures in yard, because it doesn't cost any actual mana if you don't want it to, you could do it twice. You could do it in response, they kill your creature, do it again. That's certainly not out of the question, and the triggered ability is really good. Yeah, this one seems cracked, right? This seems good. That would be pretty dope in an Orzhov Clerics deck, yeah. Does this go in any Yawgmoth deck? It could go in any Yawgmoth deck. What's up, Brickless? This and the white one can easily be indestructible the turn they come down. 100%. So I think Drivnod for me is probably in one of these 2 tiers. I'm actually leaning to the top of could potentially reset clocks. But an indestructible 8-3, just like Evan just said in chat, is a really tough threat to deal with. That's a lot of damage. Tier 3? Okay, okay. Alright, so I still need to invest a fair amount of protection against damage destroy. Yeah, that's true. This has got to be the best commander yet. It's up there. I think it goes in Tic-Tac Goes Rusco. What do you guys think? Does this prick on the death trigger for Skull Clamp? Oh, yeah. Oh, proc, you meant to say. I misread that. That's funny. It is, but there's a lot of exile running around. Yeah, I think it's the top of tier 3. I think that's where it gets to for me. It's pretty good. Alright, get Thane of Contracts. 1 black, 3/4. Other creatures you control get -1/-1. Not great. But it is a good body for 3. 1 black, return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains if this creature would leave the battlefield. Exile it instead of putting it anywhere else. Activate only as a sorcery. I don't love this guy. I think in Paper Magic, he's going to be pretty good, but I think in Historic Brawl, he just doesn't quite get there for me. I think he's just like kind of whatever. Does he even make it into fun tier? He can't play 1/1s. I think he goes, what do we think, guys? Big Sad? He's not a commander. Agree. Yeah, he's not a commander. I think it plays in TikTok. It could. Yeah, it could go in TikTok. Not this guy, the previous one. He's not in Historic. That's a 99. Big Sad. Can find a place for 99 in Paper. Yeah, I think this guy's Big Sad. Sorry, buddy. Alright. Kinzu of the Bleak Coven. This one's not on my tier list for some reason. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, you may pay 2 life and exile it. And if you do, create a token that's a copy of that creature, except it's 1/1 and has Toxic 1. Interesting. That's an interesting one. Thanks, Holy. I appreciate you, buddy. So, Kinzu, 5 mana, 5/4 flyer. That's pretty good. And another non-token creature dies. I think this one's pretty good. What do we want to do with it? First off, I don't actually have this on my tier list for some reason. So what I think we're gonna have to do... We'll figure it out later. I think this goes in... It's one of these two, honestly. What do you guys think? Potentially reset clocks? Puts them on a timer for sure. Oh, I need that double death trigger. Yep, flying tribal. Yep, goes in Gyruda. True. I don't know. I think it could potentially reset clocks. I think this one goes in potentially reset clocks. Unfortunately, I don't have... Is there a way to make one? I don't think there's a way to, like, make one on the spot, right? That's too bad. So this one would go in, could potentially reset clocks. Yeah, it's kind of like a new Nightmare Shepherd. Add a row. No, I don't actually have the card in here. I somehow missed that. Add a row? I don't think that's going to do anything. Am I crazy? Yeah, the card's not in here. That's the problem. Alright, so, moving on. Bran Executioner Thane. Alright, so it's 2 mana for a 2/2. So far, so good. When 1 or more other creatures you control die, each opponent loses 2 life, and you gain 2 life. It triggers once a turn. That seems pretty good. This seems really good in, like, a Jadar-type deck. I think that Bran's pretty nice, especially if you have a way to sacrifice a creature on both players' turns. In Historic Brawl, draining for 4 every cycle is going to end the game really quick. I think in the right build, this could go in TikTok Goes Rusco. What do you guys think? Because Bran, first off, looks sweet as hell and is extremely strong in the right deck. You think it's Big Sad? Yeah, if it wasn't once per turn, this commander would be like, there'd have to be a separate tier called Bran. I see 3 or 4? What? I think this goes in TikTok. Oh, you guys are probably right. I just love aristocrat cards so much. I'm putting this up near the top of tier 3 though. That pairs so good with the last mono black 8/3 thing. Yeah. There's so many better cards that do the same thing. Whatever, Brickless. You're right, though. I think once per turn, it makes it much worse. No, you're 100% right, Logical Panda. I think I'm just sniffing copium right now. Because I think this guy's sweet. Right beside it. Yeah, they're just hanging out. God damn, that guy would mess me up. Alright, last black card. Let's do this. Vraska Betrayal's Sting. So this is 4 black and a Phyrexian black for a 6 loyalty Planeswalker. Comes into with 4 loyalty if you pay the 2 life. 0, draw a card, and you lose 1 life, proliferate. That's a good one. So it's technically a +1, because you can proliferate the life total, or the loyalty. -2, target creature becomes a treasure artifact with tap. Sack this artifact. Add 1 mana of any color, and it loses all other types and abilities. What's very interesting about this is this was a white card in AFR. It's now a black plane thing on a black Planeswalker. -9, which is going to be 3 pluses, or 3 zeros, or other proliferate. Target player has fewer than 9 poison counters. They get a number of poison counters equal to the difference. This dude is hilarious. First off, she looks like a baddie. What's going on? Second off, I know, it does... Yeah, the other guy got eaten by almost any removal. Fun, Brickless? Fun? Oh, but it, at the very least, is 0 to plus to draw a card and proliferate and lose a life, and -2 to kill a creature. Because if you minus to remove a threat, you end up ramping the opponent. That's true. There is something bad about that. But it's a repeatable removal. I think it's gotta be... What do you guys all think? I think it's either fun or could potentially reset clocks. It's probably fun, isn't it? It's probably... If I'm off the copium, which I refuse to ever go off the copium, I think it goes in fun. Or standard or in general. This is a Historic Brawl tier list. Commander tier list. So it's only for Historic Brawl where Planeswalkers can be your commander. This is really hard to say. It's niche as hell, but really good for that niche. And if there is a lot of poison in this expansion, reset for sure. I think you can go higher once the right deck is found. That's true, but are we ranking this based on what decks we could build right now, or what this would look like 6 months from now? I still think you guys are right in that it's fun. We're putting it at the top of fun, behind the cat, because I think Shay would hate me if I didn't put the cat first. And Shay's scary. She's good at Magic, so. This is the Super Friends All-Star. Not sure it gets there as a commander. No, I think you're right. Everyone hates Planeswalker, so it gives you 6 life. True. True. Put it in 3? I think fun is where it belongs. I'm so sad. Next, we are gonna do this guy. Slotham, Mayhem Dominus. 2 red for a 5/4 legendary creature, Phyrexian Horror. If a source would deal non-combat damage to opponent or permanent opponent controls, it deals double that damage to that player or permanent instead. And you can pay 1 and 2 Phyrexian reds and discard 2 cards, which is relatively easy to do. Put an indestructible counter on Sulfum. I think this dude's sweet. I think this guy is sweet. I don't know. I'd have to... Nice, Evan. Nice. Is this better Torbrand? Pretty much. It pretty much is. Hey, Tibbs, what's up, dude? I built a Tiny Bones deck. I think Sulfum's gonna be pretty good. I think in the right aggressive red build, this could kill a Rusco. I think he's great. 2 cards in hand. You don't need more than 4 or 5 mana in a lot of these red decks. Discard extra lands. I think he's sweet. I think he's really good. But missing combat damage is sad. That's very true. This is so good in mono burn. The only thing that could hold it back is if there's not enough good burn in Historic Brawl. I know there's a good amount. I don't think there's like a ton though. In any case, let's go to Cough, Fire of Resistance. 2 red for a 4 loyalty Planeswalker. +2, search your library for a basic mountain, reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle. Interesting. A very interesting plus ability on a red Planeswalker. Cough, Fire of Resistance deals damage to target creature equal to the number of mountains you control. Interesting. I'm pretty sure that would work really well with the new guy. With Sulfum. You get an emblem that says whenever a mountain enters the battlefield under your control, this emblem deals 4 damage to any target. I think this guy's pretty sweet. He incentivizes you to play bigger red, which is interesting. I actually like red. Don't tell CGB, he'll fight me. And that guy's like 6'4" of chicken tenders, so I don't want to fuck with him. Do you really want to save your burn till turn 5 though? That's true, but you can play, if you're playing aggressive red creatures, and what you're using is you're using Soul Foam to make your burn be really good at burning the opponent out, that could be a decent thing. If you're going like Monastery, Swift Spear, if you're playing a mono red deck that has cheap creatures and then a bunch of cheap burn, I think it could be good, Soul Foam. That said, plus all the Chandras, I like this. I think Koth is definitely going to be fun. I don't know if it's going to be able to reset clocks. I think Soul Foam... Oh, what... You almost never get the ult off? Of this guy? Never. I guess it's only 3 turns. That's like a million turns. I think he's going to be fun. But he's going to be a pretty fun one, though. I think that's fair. Alright, moving on. We have Slowbad Iron Goblin. 2 in a red, sacrifice an artifact. Add an amount of red equal to sacrifice artifact's mana value. Spend this to only cast artifact spells or activate abilities of artifacts. I think if somebody doesn't find a broken combo for this, this card is going to be big sad. Realistically, I think it's going to be big sad. You have to have an expensive artifact out so you can get other expensive artifacts out? Seems terrible, right? There might be some broken combo. I'm not the one who found it, but it can't be good. Look how they ruined my boy. He was so sweet in the novels. I could imagine. Now, I'm pretty sure Mythic Spoiler screwed me up because they did not have Ruck, Hex Gold, Nabber. So let's talk about this guy. I've never read this guy. 2 in a red for a 2/2. Trample Haste. Those are good words. When an equipped creature you control other than Ruck, Hex Gold, Nabber attacks or dies, you may attach all equipment attached to that creature to Ruck. I think that guy is going to be big sad. What do you guys think? Slowbad did deserve better. Agreed. Another equip. Yeah, it's gotta be big sad. I just don't think it's gonna get there. Let's get to, yeah, big sad. I think we're all in agreement that it goes in big sad. Sorry, dude. You got cool, like, Butcher's Cleaver type shit, but no dice. Alright, let's look at the next one. Nissa Ascended Animist. 3 green, and 2 sets of Phyrexia mana. So this is the first time we've seen this, and it's completed. So for each Phyrexia mana you pay with life, it's 2 fewer loyalty. So she could come in at 7, 5, or 3, depending on how much mana you want to pay. +1, create an XX green planeswalker creature token where X is Nissa's Animist loyalty. Keep in mind that it checks when you plus it. So it does not change based on her loyalty. It doesn't die if she dies, right? It doesn't become 0/0. But if she gains more loyalty, this won't get bigger. Yeah, the +1's sweet. That's what I'm saying. +1's dope. I assume completed basically equals death. I hope not. Gosh, she's looking like a baddie too. -1, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Really great in some matchups, but not all. And then this you could use the turn you player if you spend 7 mana on her. Until end of turn, creatures you control get +1/+1 for each force you control and gain trample. I think this one could be really good. I think if you're ramping hard, and the -7 is cute as a discount, creator health, having that in your command zone, that's what I'm saying, Chardot. That's what I'm saying, dog. Dude, that's what I'm saying. I think Nissa could be sweet. I'm gonna give Nissa a go for sure. And because I'm gonna play Nissa, I think Nissa could potentially reset clocks. I don't think she's super likely to beat out Rusko, but she could. I think with the right list, once again, she's monocolored, so she's just a skosh behind things that are multicolored. But yeah, the -1 can absolutely demolish a Rusko. I actually, for that reason alone, it kills Golos, kills Ramos. I think she might be TikToko's Rusko. She does protect herself pretty well. I don't know. I think she could. I think we're going TikToko's Rusko. Step aside Rusko. Oh, you think she's step aside level? Step aside Clockmaker looking ass? I would absolutely run this as a green commander in Historic Brawl. Toss in Who Shakes the World. Oh yeah. Is this going to be our first entrant? What? I need everyone else's opinion on this, because this is a hefty burden to place upon Nissa. This is a hefty burden. I wouldn't say step aside, but definitely TikTok. But I don't think she's as good as Rusko. No, fair enough. Yeah, man, artifacts and enchantments on a -1. And big body's on a plus. Man, you know what, Drunk Canuck, you're the homie. I'll put her up here. She could be top of TikTok goes Rusko. It's one of these two. I think she's insane, though. What's up, Derek? She's extremely expensive for a top-tier aggro deck. That's true. That's true. There's a lot of ways you could go with where she is. I think the fact that she has 2 very powerful plus and minus abilities, and on turn 7 you could use her just to kill your opponent with an overrun, it's really good. Well, the problem with removing Rusko is he always ramps himself, so removing him has little impact. Having a commander that can come out so early and remove his clock and keep that ramp down. That's a very good point. But green is the ramp color, true. I mean, Historic Brawl. Oh, I love all the chatter about this. I like this a lot. I mean, in Historic Brawl, I see the risk being that the game is already over by the time you get her out. That's very possible. That is certainly possible. I think we're going to have to find out as a group. I think the friend group's going to have to sit down, get together, and make Nissa sweet. Alright, moving on, though. -7 wants you to ramp by adding more forests and by mana dorks for bodies. True. Green is good at both of those things, though. Alright, next we have Evan. Check it. Evan, check it, dog. We have Thrun, Breaker of Silence. Dude, Thrun is looking rough, though. He looks like a turtle. Yeah, dude, let's all hit up Nissa. I just don't see her being top tier. You're probably right, Chardot. You're probably right. She's probably top of TikTok goes Rusko. Because she has a great Rusko matchup. In any case, though, 3 green for a 5/5. The spell can't be countered, and it's got trample. Run Breaker of Silence can't be the target of non-green spells your opponents control or abilities from non-green sources your opponents control. And as long as it's your turn, he's got indestructible. This card's pretty cool. Is it insanely broken? No. Against certain decks, can they just not interact with it at all? That's true. I mean, things like board wipe still kill it, unless it's your turn, but still. I like it as the 99 too. I think you're right. Yeah. I don't know. I think, yeah, because he's just so, like, single-minded on himself. He's a very selfish commander. He doesn't help your deck at all. It's a sick finisher, but commander, I don't know. I think you guys are right. I think he's gonna be a big sad. Realistically, buff Thrun deck. You could make a thick boy. That's possible. That is certainly possible. I still think it's a big sad, though. Unfortunate. Oh, wait, this is the wrong one. I think he's got to go in big sad, and that makes me sad, because my boy Evan loves that card. Not this one, but the other one. All right, let's go. Dude, what are these fucking names? Zopandrel, Hunger Dominus, 5 green for a 4/6 reach. At the beginning of each combat, double the power and toughness of each creature you control until end of turn. And then you can pay green for Phyrexian, sacrifice 2 other creatures to put an indestructible counter. Another one you can do at the turn it comes out very easily, especially considering it's a 7-mana Planeswalker. What do we think about this? It's like a unnatural growth on a body. 99 in the Nissa deck? Yeah, you're probably right, Drunk Canuck. I think that's a good point. 7 mana is huge. Even in a green deck where you're ramping, 7 mana is a lot. A lot of decks will be in a very, very powerful board state otherwise. His ability is also not that great. Its ability, like, I think he's like they're kind of whatever. Sweet blocker, especially with this. But to make him indestructible, you have to kill 2 of your creatures. You can't be losing board presence when you're building up to a 7 mana commander. Dies once 9, 2, 11. Yeah, no. I think this guy is another entrant into Big Sad, which is super sad for me because I love green. But now we move on to the multicolored. So let's start with Melkator Purity Overseer. So this is 1 blue, white for a 1/1. Not great to start, but when it enters the battlefield, it makes a 3/3 colorless Phyrexian Golem artifact token. At the beginning of your end step, if 3 or more artifacts enter the battlefield under your control this turn, make another 3/3 Golem. Keep in mind, this guy's an elephant, which is kind of cool. But doesn't matter a lot for game power. I know he died. It's an unnatural growth that can't die, but I'm just worried that you'll be dead by the time you get it out. No, yeah, you guys are right. For about the, about Zulfindel. I'll bring him back up real quick while we finish chatting. Too slow even for green because you want serious creatures to double, but you have to ramp super hard to get them out. Yeah, no, 100%. Alright, moving back to Melkator. I think you're right, Shardot. I think this is a combo commander. Or, if you're just playing artifacts, it could be decent. I think it's actually pretty decent in the 99 of like an Urza. Something like an Azusa deck. Oh, yeah. What's up, Darth Antonio? Welcome in. I want you or CGB to build this for worst possible. Okay, I'll consider that. It's an elephant, so automatically gonna beat Rusko. Big true, dude. You ever see a clock in a fucking elephant fight? I'll tell you who's winning. I, because I'm hanging out with all of you. In any case, Melkator, it's gonna be hard to get 3 artifacts out unless you're making a ton of tokens. I think it's gonna be fun. I think this makes it into fun tier. I know, the elephant has worse stats than the Rusko, dude. I was hoping no one was gonna call it out, but dude, Darth Antonio, that is such a fucking down bad thing for poor Melkator. Feels bad, dude. Alright, Kaito, Dancing Shadow. 4 mana for a 3 loyalty planeswalker. When one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, you may return one of them to its owner's hand. If you do, you may activate the loyalty abilities of Kaito twice this turn rather than only once. Interesting. +1 up to 1 target creature can't attack or block until your next turn. Protects himself in a medium way. 0 to draw a card, and -2 to make a 2/2 colorless drone artifact with Death Touch, and when this creature leaves the battlefield, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. I think 3-drop Kaito's a little bit better than this guy. But this is interesting. We could do Anointed Procession, and we could use tokens to get there. I think he is probably better as a combo commander, but I think he's super fun as a golem tribal. No, that's true, Panda. 100%. I like 3-drop Kaito more. 3-drop seems better. Agreed. 3 starting loyalty for 4 is rough. And fun tier. Interesting. The fun tier call. I think you're probably right. I think you're probably right. Which makes me sad, but I think it goes into fun tier. Yeah, it might even be Big Sad. Because honestly, does he do anything fun enough to be anything other than Big Sad? I don't know. Are people going to have enough fun with this to knock it? Because fun is basically Big Sad, but going to be fun to play. I don't know. The idea is that you play it at a point where you can double plus, I think. But yeah, fun tier, I think, at most. Yeah, I think... It's a ninjutsu commander for sure. You know what? Ninjutsu's fun. I'll stick it in fun. Like, at best, you stop 2 creatures or make a drone and draw. Yeah. It really depends on what we see for proliferate and blue decks. Yeah. No, I Alright, moving on. Venser Corpse Puppet. Blue-black for a 1/3 lifelink toxic 1. Dude, look at this baddie. Dude. I want to go to work in that thing. Dude, nobody's gonna be fucking with me if I'm rolling up to work in this bad boy. Do you think anyone's gonna try to mess with me, dude? I just, like, hit a button, there's go dead. Dude, I'm just saying, no one would ask me to do any work. No one would bother me. I wouldn't have to answer stupid emails all day. It's a thought. In any case. 1/3 lifelink toxic 1. When you proliferate, choose 1. Okay. If you don't control a creature named the Hollow Sentinel, which is my ride to work, create the Hollow Sentinel, a legendary 3/3 colorless golem artifact creature token. I do not like them completing all these prominent lore figures. Yeah, I get that for sure. You may have to be dead to drive it. Well, I mean, it is what it is. So much toxic, it has to fall and potentially reset. Potentially reset? Feels like a cash grab unimaginative. Yeah, I get that. Alright, and then the other ability is target artifact creature you control gains flying and lifelink until end of turn. I don't think this guy's that great. I don't think he's that great. I don't know. Big Sad? Yo, but he looks cool. Can't he go in fun? Or is he Big Sad? What does hard mean? Why do you keep saying... Oh, hard to say? Oh, I see what you're saying. It's a 99 at most. Ooh, I like this a lot. Hadn't seen it before. Probably not that good, but I want to build it. Hey, that's fun tier to me. If somebody in chat goes, yo, I don't know if that guy's going to be good, but I'm going to build him, that's a fun tier commander. Nah, pretty easy to say 99 him. Yeah. You know what? For you, Panda, you seem like a cool dude. I'm gonna put it in fun tier, but it's likely in big sad. When you heard. Rickly, I don't know what's going on, dude. You're going crazy. What does it actually do for you as a commander? Absolutely nothing. It's not good. It's not good at all. If it gave you, like, something way better for proliferation, that'd be different. But he doesn't do anything. And the only reason... Because fun and big sad are basically similar power levels, just one's going to be more fun. I think it just goes in fun. Anytime, Panda. Alright, moving on. This one. Kethek Crucible Goliath. 2 red-black for a 4/4. Good start. At the beginning of the end step, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-legendary creature card with lesser mana value, put it on the battlefield, put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. I think Kethek could be really good in the right deck. You have the option to make it somewhat, like, deterministic what you get, having, like, 3 creatures in there. But the problem is, I think it'd be really hard to trigger him then. Would this would go into an ETB deck? Most likely. I think it'd be pretty good in an ETB deck, though. I think that this could potentially reset clocks, but, like, on the low end. It'd be either high-end fun, low-end potentially reset clocks. It would just depend on what you can make happen with it. Because you could throw the Mishra combo in here. I know this doesn't hit the legendaries, but I think this could be pretty good. What do you guys think? What 3-drops do we have? So, you have Midnight, the Midnight Trespasser or whatever. That's a good one. 3-drop creatures. There's a bunch of really good ones in black. If you're doing a sacrifice thing, you could grab a Mayhem Devils. Yeah, it's nice, because you don't have to sacrifice it another way. You get the way to sacrifice it, but you can only do it once. That's true. If we imagine repeatedly sacking Kethek at worst. Yeah. No, I mean, you have to sacrifice another creature, but I'm not a fan, but I can see why it could be fun. I hated this card at first, then I realized the potential of stealing people's permanents and then sacrificing those. That's true. That is true. So, I think that this is auto-include in that deck. 100% Mayhem Devils is an auto-include. Agreed. I think this bad boy goes to the bottom of could potentially reset clocks. I don't think it can go much higher than that, because the high end on this card is pretty low, but the low end is pretty high, if that makes sense. And that's pretty good. It's pretty slick with any sort of zombie, a mass generator, perfect fit in the sack list. Agreed. Also, thanks, I want to say, everyone, thanks so much for hanging out. This has been a lot of fun. I love doing things like this. This is going to be a blast. So thanks, everyone who's hanging out with me. All right, Luca, Bound to Ruin. 2 red, green, and a red or green Phyrexian mana. For a 5 loyalty planeswalker, 3 if you paid life. +1, add red, green. Spend this mana only to cast creature spells or activate abilities of creatures. -1 is to make a 3/3 Toxic 1 green beast. And then -4, Luca deals X damage, divided as you choose among any number of targets and/or planeswalkers. X is the greatest power among creatures you controlled as you activated this ability. This seems pretty good. This seems pretty good. I think this one has potential. First off, look at how sweet this looks like. This looks like a Tyrannid, and I love Tyrannids. And Luca, look at them fucking things coming out of his head, dude. That's nuts. That can make mana real powerful. That's true. They can be very powerful, especially if they're sitting in the command zone for when you need them. Plus, you can play it on turn 4, minus it to 2, and have a 3/3 Toxic 1. That's for sure just a Tyrannid. That's what I'm saying. 5 mana, 5 loyalty. 4 mana, 3 loyalty. It's true. It's not... I don't think it's insane, but I actually think... it's hard to put it, like, anywhere but the bottom of could potentially reset clocks. I don't know. I don't put it much. I think I would put it like here-ish. Yeah, that's probably fair. I'm actually going to move Norn down a little bit. Same with Unctus. Yeah, I think that's a good spot for it. Alright. Moving on. Miglaw's Maze Crusher. 1 red-green for a 4/4. And this guy enters the battlefield with 5 oil counters on it. 1, remove an oil counter from Miglaw's. It gains Vigilance and Menace until end of turn. 2, remove 2 oil counters from Miglaw's. It gets +2/+2 until end of turn. And 3, remove 3 oil counters from Miglaw's. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Interesting. 3 mana 4/4 is a good body. I actually think this dude could be really good in a aggressive deck. Because getting Vigilance and Menace is super annoying. Giving it +2/+2 until end of turn is super annoying. And if worse comes to worse, you can spend 3 to naturalize something. Not a commander? Yeah. Ugh. You guys are breaking my heart here. But you're probably right. It probably is Big Sad. Man, I don't want it to be Big Sad, though. Come on. Come on. I need to hear more opinions than this. 3 mana, 8/8 for a turn is Nido Burrito. Agreed. Agreed. I will put it in most Gruul decks. Okay. You guys don't think this bad boy's a commander? You think it just chills as a 99er, which would probably put it in Big Sad? Dang. Alright. If that's what everyone wants, that's what I'll do. What's with Gruul getting such houses? A 3 mana 4/4 with lots of other text. I know. Yet nobody's telling me to put it above Big Sad. Otherwise it would just be a lot worse than the Nissa. I'd say low fun. What do you think is good about it? What do I think is good about it? That's a very good question. What is good about Miglaw's? It is a nice body for 3 mana. It has multiple lines of text that are good in different situations, but mostly when you're being aggressive. Man. That's about it, though. And it's removal for Paradox Engine. That's true. I think the threat of activation on this guy, especially the second ability, is pretty good. The line of text requires mana investment. That's true. And you have a limited number of counters. That's also true. And proliferating might not be easy in this color combo. Man, I'll put it at the bottom of Big Fun. You guys suck. It's a good point, though. I think that's a good point. I like this card, but I don't think it's going to get there. Alright, next. Melira the Living Cure. Green-white for a 3/3. Great stats. If you get 1 or more poison counters, instead you get 1 poison counter and can't get additional poison counters this turn. Exile Melira the Living Cure. Choose another target creature or artifact. When it is put in the graveyard this turn, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. Evan, I know you love Simic, but I think this guy is dog water. I think this guy is real bad. I think the first line of text is really good against, like, the toxic decks and nothing else. I think for the first week it is going to be amazing, 100%. I think after that, though, I think it loses a ton. Like, I get that this second ability is not bad, and it is a 2 mana 3/3. Yeah, Selesnya, not Simic. That's my bad. Like, I just think this card's not very good. I think this is Big Sad. You know what? Living Cure Sad Face. I think she deserves her own tier. I think she does not quite get it. I think she is just not very good. It's the biggest pull in increasing commander tax. Yeah, true. I can't see putting this into the command zone. The worst card we've seen, yes, good call. Yeah, I just think it's bad. You're literally paying mana for a ton of line of text that don't matter. And the second line could be good, but not always. Moving on. Kaya Intangible Slayer. 3 white, black. So 7 mana for a 6 loyalty, hexproof planeswalker. +2, each opponent loses 3 life and you gain 3 life. 0 is you may draw 2 cards. Then each opponent may scry 1. It's a lot of maze. What? It's a lot of maze. -3, target creature enchantment. Exile target creature enchantment. If it wasn't an aura, create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a 1/1 white spirit creature with flying in addition to its other types. This card seems sweet. Yeah, 100% Celestia is not good for... not a good self-sack color combo. Your clocks become mine. Disgusting. You only gain 3 life off the first ability. Not as good as you think. This seems fun. So expensive and gives your opponent a scry. I'm personally going to pass. Cost 7. Still 9 damage on a +2. Still 9 damage on a +2. All of these modes are so strong. That is true. But every mode, when you compare it to its mana cost, seems a little bit weaker. Right? +2 doesn't actually gain you any board presence. It does make you lose slightly less bad. But a lot of times by turn 7, +3 life is not going to win you a race. This is a commander card, not a brawl one. That's potential. I think that this is going to be a fun commander. I just do not think it's going to get above that. Unfortunately. I don't know. I just think she's too expensive. Also, guys, if you haven't followed, please do so. I really would appreciate that. I'm really enjoying streaming, and I hope you guys are enjoying the content. I don't know, guys. I think she's fun. I think she's fun. I'm sorry, Kaya. We'll put you up towards the top of fun, though. Darth Antonio 74. Hey, I really appreciate you. Brickless, I really appreciate you as well following. Welcome to the friend group, everybody. You guys are the best. All right, moving on. Rhea Ivor. Fun is the peak. Yeah, fun is the peak. All right, so Rhea Ivor, Bane of Bladehold. 2 black, white for a 3/4 with Battlecry. At the beginning of combat on your turn, the next time target creature will deal combat damage to one or more players this combat. Prevent that damage. If damage is prevented this way, create that many 1/1 Phyrexian Might artifact creature tokens with Toxic 1, and this creature can't block. Oh, nice, Darth Antonio. Well played. It's like a Hero Bladehold. It's very much so reminiscent of Hero Bladehold, right, Evan? Which black-white enchantments do we rarely want to have copies of? Great question. For how expensive it is, the minus doesn't do anything. True. So cost prohibitive. Yep, agreed with all those. The return of Battlecry is pretty sick. This is random, but do you think you will ever make Historic Brawl more than that 1v1, like multiplayer? I think it's possible. I think they realize that there is so much love for multiplayer formats in Magic that they will make it happen. The problem with Arena is it takes away what is probably the most fun part about multiplayer, which is the interaction with your opponents and your friends and stuff. So there is that to keep in mind, but I think they would do it. I think this is a better Aristocrats commander. Yeah, I agree. I actually think this card's not very good. I just don't think it does enough. Seems niche, like trading damage now for possible damage later. Agreed. She doesn't have Toxic. I think she's bad. I think she's big sad. I know people are gonna absolutely lose their minds for this, but I think it's just not gonna be very good. I don't think that's good in Brawl, but it's so cool though. You don't think this is good? Big sad. I don't think it's good, Evan. Are you trolling? You have to get a creature through, have it deal no damage to make other creatures. Those can't block. I don't know, dude. It's really hard to rank these when Alchemy is going to be coming out with a creature who has Toxic 10. Some stupid, silly thing. Yeah, that's fair. I think the addition of mobile client honestly reduces the chance of multiplayer versions of Arena. True. I think it's the first hard to say TBH in white black. Hard to say. That's true. We don't have a hard to say client anymore, or row anymore, but I will re-add it because I think that's a very good point. I think this card could be good. I doubt it will be, but it's hard to say. So, hard to say it is. Alchemy does destroy any tier list. Where you can sack those creatures or just go around your opponent. Yeah, I think there's just better things to be doing. I think it's harder to get combat damage through in Brawl than you might think as well, Evan. Like, you make a ton of tokens by preventing damage. Yeah. You only need 10 poison. That's true. Hey, you know what, Evan? Maybe you and I can build this deck with the group, and we'll see how it goes. Now, Ovika Enigma Goliath. 5 blue, red, very expensive already, for a 6/6 flyer. Wow. Ward is pay 3 mana and 3 life. It's not or. Radic is better, agreed. Ovika, Enigma Goliath, also has whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create X 1/1 red Phyrexian Goblin creature tokens, where X is the mana value of that spell. They gain haste until end of turn. This card looks super sweet, but in red-blue, it's going to be hard to get it out. It's just too expensive. I would take this at 5 mana for a 3/3 any day of the week. I think. Maybe 5 mana for a 3/4, but yeah, I just don't think this is very good. The ward is nice. You have to pay 3 mana and 3 life, but by the time you have 7 mana to cast it, I think they can pay the ward. Yeah, I think it could be fun. I agreed. I think it's fun tier, because I'm probably going to try to mess around with this bad boy, because he looks fun, but I just don't think he's that good. Yeah, it used to be my favorite color combo. Around the time I met CGB it was, but slowly I've liked green, so Simic is probably on the list as my top couple now. Yeah, is it Artifact Ramp? It could be good. It could be decent in Is it Artifact Ramp. That's probably where it's at its best. I can see this being a transmutation effect in Standard. Yeah, that's fair. I just don't think that it's... I think Torrential Gearhulk's a much better transmutation target, though, right? Like, yeah, Weird Tribal... I mean, isn't that what this chat is right now? We're just a bunch of weirdos having fun together? We're playing Weird Tribal right now. Alright, Glissa Sun Slayer. 1, green-black, for a 3/3. First strike and death touch. Wow. That card's really good. That card is very good. Those stats, rather, those abilities. Because they have to block with 4 creatures for damage to get through. Because you can assign 1 damage to each creature that blocks it and kills it. Whenever Glissa Sunslayer deals combat damage to a player, choose 1, you draw a card and lose a life, destroy target enchantment, or remove up to 3 counters from target permanent. I think... She's an absolute terror in combat. Just an absolute terror. Has a good ability to draw life, gain life and draw a card on combat damage. I think that's a great ability. You could sometimes destroy an enchantment. I think... removing 3 counters from target permanent is not great because it doesn't say player, so you can't remove your own poison. Is an elf as well? It is an elf. Oh, you think potentially reset clocks? Okay, good, because we haven't put anything above like fun in a minute. I actually think you're right too. Menace in combat, strong abilities, cheap. Cheap. Remove counters on clock. True. I think she could potentially reset clocks. And I think she's got a little bit more potential than Unctus. Could potentially TikTok. I think you're right. I think it could actually go potentially up to TikTok. Maybe it goes higher on this. Maybe it's somewhere like here. The problem is that her ability on combat damage isn't game-changing, but it's also cheap. She's 3 mana. 3 mana, you can't attack me because I'm going to first strike death touch your dudes. I think you're right. So I heard an interesting build for the final ability. It works with Sages and Golgari Sagas are very control heavy. Ooh, that's kind of cool actually. If you're just gonna keep redoing what's the Binding of the Old Gods or whatever, that'd be sweet. That would be sweet. I like it next to the Black Dominus. Alright, I'll move it up 1. Okay. I already made a proxy for an EDH deck, Binding the Old Gods. That's it, yep. In green, so it has several ways to give trample. I think this card's gonna be great. I think it's gonna be great. I'm glad everyone agrees. First Strike Death Touch is just first off, a super classic ability combination on a Glissa, and just a really strong combo. Alright, Tyvar Jubilant Brawler. 1 green-black for a 3 loyalty planeswalker. You may activate abilities of creatures you control as though those creatures had haste. +1 to untap 1 target creature. -2 mill 3 cards, then you may return a creature card with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. This feels like a big sad to me. Just doesn't do enough. It just doesn't quite do enough. It does not get there to me. Fun tier is a total jank enabler. True. Big sad, fun tier, big sad. I can see big sad. Yeah, I think it's got to go in big sad. I just don't think it does enough fun stuff to make it to fun. Moving along. Look at this art. Jor Kadeen, first Gold Warden. Red-white for a 2/2 trample. When Jor-Kadeen first Gold Warden attacks, it gets +X/+X until end of turn, next to the number of equipped creatures you control. Then if Jor-Kadeen's power is 4 or greater, draw a card. Yeah, I could see that guy going infinite in Paper Commander too. The Tyvar Commander, for sure. Yeah, this art reminds me of that Faithless Looting, Mystical, whatever art. Equipment sucks, it sucks, put it with malaria. You think she belongs? Yeah, probably. Alright. Made it into a... This guy is at least fun? Is he fun, though? Is what he's doing fun? Is he fun, though? Color white equipment doesn't feel weird. It feels weird, man. I agree. I think it's a negative from me, dog. Alright, now we got old sword arms here, dude. We got old sword arms. Nahiri, the sword arms. 1 red, white, and a Phyrexian red or white. With a completed planeswalker, so it comes in with 5 or 3. It has a +1 until your next turn. Up to 1 target creature attacks a player each combat if able. +1. Discard a card, then draw a card. 0. Exile target creature equipment card with mana value equipment again. Less than Nahiri's loyalty from your graveyard. Create a token that's a copy of it. That token gains haste. Interesting. Oh, sword arms, dude. Sword arm online. I just don't know if she's that good. Yeah, +1's terrible in... Yeah, the +1 does nothing in Historic Brawl. Is it even fun tier, though, Evan? I beseech you to think about this. Because I'll put it in fun tier. It means... It does make Rusko attack you. That is true. I think it's a big sad, though, still. I think it still is a big sad. Boros Reanimator, pretty fun. I could see that. I could see that. I just don't think it has the support. Yeah, big sad. I would put it in fun because of sword arms, but like... I don't think she's gonna make it. Alright, moving on. Azuri, Stalker of Spheres. 2 blue, green. For a 3/3, when the Azuri, Stalker of Spheres enters the battlefield, you may pay 3. If you do, proliferate twice. When you proliferate, draw a card. Okay, Azuri, first off, looking like a baddie in this art, dude. Looking like an absolute baddie. What's his creature type? A Phyrexian Elf Warrior. What is going on, dude? An absolute baddie. Super Friends Blink. I think this dude's gonna be sweet. For 4 mana, you get a 3/3 when you proliferate, draw a card. For 7 mana, you get a 3/3, draw 2 cards, proliferate twice. That seems pretty good. In a 2-color Super Friends deck, it could be in a poison deck, though I think it's going to be better if you're proliferating multiple creatures. I think this dude could be sweet. Just draw a card whenever you proliferate. Not bad. Ban-worthy, okay. I think it is going to be played at 7 mana infinitely more than at 4. I think you're right. I think it's going to potentially reset clocks. I'd love to be proven wrong. Nissa might have a friend finally. You think? Oh, you think this is Step Aside Clockmaker looking ass? You think this guy resets clocks? Do you think TikTok goes Rusko, or are we stepping aside Clockmaker looking ass? I don't know if it gets that far up there. I think it's 2 or 3. I don't know though. It could. It's hard to say. It's at least TikTok. Okay. And draw 2 for 3. Step aside. Especially if you can protect. You know what, guys? All right. Going in step aside Clockmaker looking ass. It is our 2nd entrant. Let's go. That's sweet. And it's in Simic, which is a great color combination. It is well known that that is the case. All right. Now we've got 2 more left. Atraxa Grand Unifier. 3. Green, white, blue, black. For a 7/7 Flying Vigilance Death Touch lifelink. When it enters the battlefield, reveal the top 10 cards of your library. For each card type, you may put a card of that type from among the revealed cards into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. What do we think about that? 7/7 Flying Vigilance Death Touch Lifelink is a chonky person. You don't have to pay the 3 that enters. Yep, it's so good. You think this guy's god-awful, Nicholas? This is awful from Evan? Put that with the card that gives all planeswalkers the -12 extra turn alt in Displacer Kitten. Expensive but has a high ceiling. Is this better or worse than Niv Mizzet Reborn? I think this card is going to be a little bit better in paper than it is in Brawl. She looks so fun. It just dies to removal, and at 7 mana, that's dangerous. If it had, like, Ward of some type, just punish them a little bit. Card's legit solid. Yeah, I think it's better than Niv Mizzet. That's true. Agreed, better in paper, which has more protection, but it got lots of Ward for ETB. I don't think it goes above potentially reset clocks. I don't know. What do you guys all think? What do we think about this? It's a great body if they don't have removal. Just an insane body. Busted if you can cheat it out. Strong if you can only play it. But dies dead to a removal. But it could reset clocks. Fun. Honestly, any card above 4 is Garbo. True. Reset, but fun. Reset or fun. Fun tier. Thanks everyone so much for... It's not red. It won't have haste. True. Good stuff as always. At least fun tier or higher. I think it will be popular. Not sure how strong it will be. I vote fun. I think it could potentially reset. I'm putting it in towards the bottom of potentially reset clocks. I think it's just got potential. That's a lot of card advantage you can get off this bad boy. I think. Oh man, it's so close to just being fun in Brawl. Is it better than Koth and... Yeah, it is. Golos in a can. You flicker and draw another 6 cards. True. True. Alright, everyone's voting fun? Alright, fine. Fun it is. What battle? Yeah, yes, agreed. I'm very intrigued by this battle card type. They kind of did this with, do you guys remember Tarmogoyf? I'm sure all of my older friends will recall this. But this card, when it first was spoiled, was hyped for 2 words. This card was hyped because it said card types are artifact, creature, enchantment, instant, land, planeswalker, sorcery, and tribal. Tribal and planeswalkers were not card types at that time. So people were super excited for what this could mean in the future. So that's why Tarmogoyf's cool in my book, not because of, well, this price rate that you could see, the $245 price on it. But yeah, I think that's cool that it's doing that. Alright, last one. Graz Unstoppable Juggernaut. This is an 8 mana 7/5 legendary artifact creature Juggernaut. Juggernauts you control attack each combat Fable, and Juggernauts you control can't be blocked by walls. Wow, that's huge. Other creatures you control have base power and toughness 5/3 and are Juggernauts in addition to their other creature types. 10 out of 10 memes, so big sad, bad, colorless to weak, sweet card. Total meme, bigger than big sad, pass, Malira the Living Cure 2, Electric Boogaloo. You guys are being real mean to Grass, dude. What do you guys are bullying my boy. What? Artwork is sweet. Yeah, alright. Fuck it. It's going in Malira Living Cures. Oh, that's so sad. Alright, everybody. This is what the ending tier list looks like. Get a good look at it. In Step Aside Clockmaker Looking Ass, we have Nissa, Ascendant Animist, and Azuri Stalker's Fears. TikTok Goes Rusko is Sklev Defector Might, Mondrak, Sulfum. Could potentially reset clocks. Drivnon, Glissa, Vran, Karamonix, Kethic, Luca, Elishnorn, Unctus. In Fun, we have Kemba, Atraxa, Koth, Kaya, Alvila, blah blah, Malkator, Vraska, the Eternal Wanderer, that guy, Turkathul, Kaito, Vesnet, Migzor, and then we have Jace, Nahiri, Geth, Slobod, Thrun, Zopfendel, and Tyvar and Big Sad. And then in Malira the Living Cure Sad Face, we have Malira the Living Cure, Jorkadine, Graz, and in hard to say, we have Rhea Ivor. Thanks so much for watching the tier list, guys. I hope you had a ton of fun doing this with me. I love doing shit like this, so we're gonna be sure to do it again in the future. All right. Back to some gameplay, guys.